Put the mic on the.
Sure. Yep. Thank you so much.
Get it a little bit away so I can read.
Yep. Good. Get enough speaker?
Yeah.
Want the chair over there, Ryan?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I made some notes. District Governor Marlene, District Governor Pete, District Governor nominee Tracy, President Arjun, distinguished guests, fellow Rotarians, and everybody else. Arjun, he tried to get this program right, but unfortunately, it isn't right. I shouldn't be speaking after everybody has said all these kind words about me, brought up all this past history that made me all teary, and I just don't know what to do. It really is mind-boggling. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. Some of you have come a long way, like Pete came from Moses Lake, our daughter Michelle came from Williams Lake, and Adrian came from Canoe. Others of you have come a long way as well. I first of all like to talk a little bit about my past. I was born in Lethbridge, Alberta, so I'm an Albertan. I don't like the drivers, but I'm from Alberta. We moved to Canoe, BC, where Adrian now lives, and we had Monroe's Coffee Shop. At that time, I was a youngster, and I liked the Yankees. In 1948, we moved to a farm in Tappan Valley. It was 1.5 miles to a one-room school, uphill both ways. There are 20 kids in the school. 3 of them were Caucasian or white. The rest were Japanese Canadians. But on the farm, I got to wear a Stetson. I bused to school for 9 years, and it was tough because you didn't get to do any extracurricular activities. In grade 10, I decided I was going to join the Mounties. However, that didn't last too long. I graduated in 1958 and decided to go into commerce at UBC. After I started there, I had worked for my uncle in Salmon Arms in bookkeeping, so I knew a little bit about it. And after I got there, some of the profs said to me, well, you should be a chartered accountant. And it was going to be 4 years university and then 5 years articling after that. So I decided I'd look into it was called a combined program. So I interviewed with a couple of small firms in Vancouver, Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte's, a couple of those, and they were offering $90 a month. Now Morgan French from Kamloops, who was known to my uncle in Salmon Arm, was offering $120 a month. So guess what I did? I came to Kamloops in 1960. That was my first indication of what Rotary was all about, because Morgan French belonged to this Rotary Club. And every Monday, all of the students could all congregate down at the secretary stations and talk to them until 1:30, because Morgan never came back from Rotary until 1:30. In 1962, I met a girl. She stayed in my mind for quite some time, but in 1962 as well, I joined the RMRs. And I knew that girls were always attracted to uniforms, so I thought. However, she wasn't attracted to a military uniform. But, be that as it may, we were married in 1964. In 1965, I became a CA and started a small local firm here. And in addition, I joined Freemasonry. Membership in Rotary still eluded me, pardon me, but I found something else. I joined the Shrine. But in addition to that, in the 60s, I hired a young electrical engineer from Calgary to start a data processing firm in Kamloops. And I knew that he, as the manager, should belong to Rotary. So I took him up and introduced him to Don Waddell, and he became a member of this club. He became the president of this club, and later on he became district governor of District 5030 on the island. His name was David Stocks. Now, Ray Fiocco had been after me for a long time about joining Rotary. And it became sort of a joke. He came to me one day and he says, "What do you do besides accounting?" I says, "Ray, I'm a chartered accountant." What? Anyway, in 1974, I was able to get in as a classification of accounting-income tax. So I joined the club in 1974, and the question is, when did I become a Rotarian? Because joining the club is not becoming a Rotarian. I'm not sure what the answer to that is, but the club activities in those days were fantastic. There was a lobster dinner, there was a corn roast, there were picnics at Ray Fiocco's place, Reg Fiocco's place, Don Andrews' place. There was a progressive dinner, there was ice fishing. Later, in 1980-81, I became president of this club. They've asked me what was one of the most remarkable things. I was elected president, I think the first week of December of '79. January 1980, a director, the secretary, and another member left the club to go and join the West Club. So here I was, ready to start out on my year, no secretary, and one of the guys was the director. And the reason one of them left was he wanted his brother to get into Rotary. The dentist in this club would not let another dentist in, so he joined the West Club so his brother could join that club. It's unfortunate the way Rotary was in those days, having one person, one classification. Anyway, in my year as president, my district governor was a tall, spare man from Yakima who grew asparagus. His name was Ed Johnson. The district conference was in Yakima that year, because that's where he was from. And bless the Americans' hearts, anything after April 15th is fair game for having a meeting. If you're an accountant in Canada, April 30th past is the time to be holding meetings. Anyway, their district conference was on the last weekend of April. So Ed Becker had just bought a plane. His pilot was Norm Cross, and he flew a group from Kamloops to Yakima. I drove another group from Kamloops to Penticton. Norm came back to Penticton, picked us up, flew us to Yakima. We had the district conference. Peter Wing from this club was elected district governor. And then we flew back the same way. He flew one section of us back to Penticton so we could drive back, and the others flew direct to Kamloops. But on the way back, Norm flew by visual flight rules, and as we came over Wenatchee, it started to cloud up, so we went higher and higher and higher. And Heidi Sato was in the plane. Elaine Baker was sitting behind him, and she said, "Heidi, your ears are turning white." And we had gone so high that he started to lose oxygen. So anyway, that pretty well took care of that year. I interviewed twice for district governor's position. Second time lucky. I was elected in Singapore in 1999, and I commenced July the 1st, 2000. As somebody, Ken maybe said, the district office was in my accounting office from 2000 to 2010, and the two girls, Heather Robinson and Bev Shudiak, did a tremendous job in looking after Rotarians throughout the district. While I was district governor, the city had a trip to Uji, Japan, which Red Fiocco came on, and Lorna. And this was the directory of that year. Unfortunately, the district doesn't produce directories anymore because they contain some of the uniquest things. This one in here had the district governor's message. And it said that the year 2000-2001 will be a year of opportunities to serve and to be of service. And it also said the pride that each of us has in being a Rotarian and the rich traditions of the finest service organization in the world should be the basis for sharing out our Rotary experience with many others. When the programs and possibilities of Rotary are shared with our friends, neighbors, and associates, our opportunities and levels of service will grow and we will reach our true potential. Please consider sharing Rotary by sponsoring a new member, and remember, Rotary is a journey, not a destination. In our organization and in life, be the best that you can be. Now, I asked every president to put this under their pillow at night and sleep on it. I think the only one that did was Carl Ruther from Leavenworth, and he became district governor. During the Rotary Convention, or district conference, pardon me, in Kamloops, as was mentioned, the thing I really liked that Rotary did was the Rotary Bandshell in Riverside Park. And it just sort of ticks me off when I see in the news or whatever, the bandshell in Riverside Park, not the Rotary bandshell, but just the Riverside Park bandshell. The things I've enjoyed doing since being governor of Pacific Northwest Pets, which I think Pete alluded to. The Council on Legislation in Chicago was a neat thing to go to. The one thing I remember, they wanted to move the headquarters from Evanston, Illinois to Switzerland because Switzerland was neutral, and we all know the U.S. is neutral. One of the things that happened there were people from all over the world, of course, there at the Council on Legislation. And there were a group of Orientals who were in the elevator with me one afternoon, and the next morning they were in the same group was there. And so I know a little bit of Japanese from when I went to school there in Tappan Valley. And so I said to them, "Ohayo gozaimasu," which means good morning. The one glared at me and said, "We're Koreans." So much for international understanding. I was privileged to be Rotary International President Majiagbe's representative to the district conference in Kansas, District 5710. I think the thing that really was the highlight of all of my Rotary experience was the RI conventions. There were 3 of them basically before I was in the district governor loop. The first was to Dallas in 1982 with Cindy and Russ and Ed and Elaine Baker. And the thing I remember about that is we saw fireflies in the backyard of this Rotarian's home. I'd never seen fireflies before. My partner Daryl Sheridan and I went to Las Vegas in '86. Sharon didn't get to go, but Sharon came to Calgary with Ed and Elaine Baker in 1996. Now, Pete sort of got this going, I think, in 1999, going to arranging this tour with Tony Lease Tours out of Portland. And he did the most fabulous tours, pre-convention, post-convention, all the rest. So we went to Singapore, and Pete and I went to Raffles and had a Singapore sling. I wanted to bring some peanut shells and scatter them on the floor, but the hotel said it couldn't do that. In 2000, we went to Buenos Aires. And I brought back a bola, which I used to snag errant animals from time to time. And in San Antonio was the next. The next RI convention was San Antonio, and I got a quirt. I thought I could whip the district governors, past district governors, into shape with this, but no chance. 2000, we went to, 2002 we did a Mediterranean cruise after Barcelona. 2004 we went to Osaka, and Richard and Donna Tamaki were along. And Richard and I went shopping one day to a departmental store in Osaka. He was looking for a camera, I think. I don't know what I was looking for, but I went upstairs and I said, "I'll meet you downstairs." I came down that elevator and there were 3,000 Japanese on the floor. All had the same color hair. They all looked like Richard. I didn't know how I was ever going to find him, but I did. We went to Chicago in 2005. It was the 100th anniversary of Rotary, and we took a trip out to Evanston, which is the headquarters, and some bozo in the group decides to sit in the president's chair. Well, the security came along. The security came along and chased him out of there so fast. Then Copenhagen, 2006, we went on a Baltic cruise, went to St. Petersburg and saw Swan Lake Ballet, which was very nice. Salt Lake City in 2007, Sharon got to look up some old relatives and stuff. And Birmingham in 2009, we found Bill Sundue on the street with his daughter. That was sort of exciting. So all that's over now, and we aren't doing much traveling anymore. Oh, I forgot to mention these. I had some Macintosh apples made up when I was district governor. They're called Stress Busters, and I handed them out at the district conference. We went to Birmingham, and that pretty well wraps up my Rotary experience. I just have one more hat to put on, which is the hat of retirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marvin. It's That was awesome, all the props you can get out of that. I would say, you know, and I do agree with Kent House, the newspaper when Christopher was inaugurated, that was amazing. I was trying to figure out how to do that today, but I couldn't figure it out. So, there is cake available now. So if you want to get some cake, quickly get some cake. We'll keep on continue on the program in a second. So I do want to thank a couple of people in the club for really stepping up to help out with this event. Doreen Munson, who's at the cake right now. Doreen, thank you. Denise, obviously, thank you, Denise, for your help as well. And obviously, all members of the club had some thing to do with it, so thank you, every member of the club, for all your help with this. Cake, and then we'll get on to Bank of Bassett. Why don't you, Ross, come up with Bank of Bassett now. Oh, we're getting cake. So we'll do Bank of Bassett. So we do some, it's slightly illegal gambling, but we don't talk about that outside the room. It's grandfathered in.
Okay, today's Banco Basta, $176.
$176 to get a Bank of Bassett, folks.
And you get to draw the winning number here.
Okay.
And then they'll have to come up and draw the winning card.
The winning number is 704-709. 709. Andrew Chaco.
I almost feel guilty.
I know.
Too many times with this.
No, no.
Oh, you need proof. Not yet. Another step.
Over there.
Okay, right over here.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. You're going to do it again, are you?
Yes, Andrew.
Queen of Spades, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but I don't even know.
I removed it.
Oh.
You did it again.
You won? You won?
You won.
You won! Wow. You won twice in like you won twice in a month. Hey, bye. Bye, you have competition.
I have checked.
I know. Just a bit of history, folks. We have this little game where we buy a ticket, we draw a ticket, and we have at the beginning of the run we have all the cards in the deck, and then as the people don't win the queen, if they pull the Queen of Spades, they win the money. But as you don't, the card diminishes. So Vi Hilton's our reigning champion, but it looks like Andrew Chaco now won twice. I won once in 25 years. You won once in a month, so I don't know what's going on there. Something's wrong with that. Thank you, Russ.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Happy Bucks. Margie Hudson's actually doing the cake there. Okay, we got one last, two more things in the club and we'll have the end of the meeting. So, oh, Margie,
Say, well, I lick my fingers.
Margie has finger licking time.
Yes.
Okay, so now if you're happy or if you're surprised or if you have any emotion whatsoever, you can get up, give us $1 or more. Money goes to the Polio Foundation, and okay. So I'll get Margie to around with us. Thank you. Happy Bucks, Margie Hudson.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Don't want to get it on his hat. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming, for honoring Marv. It's just such a great day to see so many faces and to share so many memories. My memory was that was my PETS conference, and a group of incoming presidents from Kamloops all drove down to Seattle. And we got there and did the weekend, and then on the last day, Marv comes up to me and he said, I bought something, and we're flying home, and I can't take it home. I've got too much stuff.
Was it wine?
No.
Maybe hit wine cup.
So the next day, he hands me a chef's knife. Great, thanks. Send me across the border with your chef's knife. And then he expressed his gratitude on the following Monday, appreciation for me helping him out. He gave me the tiniest bottle of scotch I've ever seen. And I don't think it was Glenmorangie. So thank you, Marv. You've been a challenge for me. You have been a mentor, and now I'm proud to call you my friend. Anyone else want to share some memories? All right. Yeah, give the mic. Just the mic.
I just want to say to you, Marvin, congratulations. I am honored to be here to help you celebrate with your wife Sharon and your longtime friends and fellow Rotarians. You are an amazing gentleman, kind, caring, generous, and well respected by all of us. Not only today, but always and over the 50 years of your pure dedication. My husband Fred and I probably met you in 1973 or 4 when he went into business, and this is from my husband Fred. He will always remember his business association, and he sends his best congratulations. You are a loyal and true friend.
Don.
It's so nice to come back here on occasions, and I hope to be back here.
Where's the dollar?
What?
Where's the dollar?
I had $1. I'll make the donation in a minute. Okay, so it's wonderful to be back and see some of the old faces, and I mean old, but the old faces of Rotary of years ago. And I'm especially glad to be here on Marvin's celebration of his 50 years in Rotary. And he has been a very loving friend and Rotarian to all of us. At any rate, here's $1 for Marvin. The other $2 is I'm so happy to see Reg Fioco here. He's been retired now from his business, and his son has carried on successfully under those wonderful Italian names, McAllister and Howard.
I'm thrilled to be part of this celebration, Marvin. And when I think of someone that's been in any club for 50 years, he's got to be a chartered member. I guess not.
Thank you. The year that I became a member was the year that Marvin was the outgoing district governor. I didn't realize what a big wig he really was. And Marvin and Don brought me into the club, and they made sure that succession happened by pairing me up with Margie, and we became very good friends. So thank you, Don and Marvin, for making sure that succession planning is through friendship. Thank you.
I'll give you change.
No. So that's for every year that Marvin's been here. Happy luck, and no, I'm good. And yeah, my memory of Marvin was I was organizing socials in my year as president. We went to all kinds of restaurants, brew pubs, wineries, and I remember Marvin showing up for a great event at the Noble Pig. So I was very happy to see him there, and I promised I'd buy him a pint. And it was great to have him out and celebrate. But yeah, during President, it was always great to have our senior members of Rotary there to, you know, give you confidence and advice, and Marvin certainly was one of those. So,
You're still on that pint there, Matt, come on.
yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Stella?
I just want to say congratulations, Marvin, and you, Sharon, for putting up with them. Thank you for the mentorship that you have provided to this club to keep us on the straight and narrow. When I first met you, you put the fear of God into me, but I decided you're just a little puppy dog.
Stella and Marvin, go ahead, Ed.
Do you want to say it now or?
$1 a year. Thank you very much. Yep.
Thanks, Mark.
I'm just so honored to be here for this day to share with Marvin, and I want to set the story straight. That when I met Marvin, I had hair.
All right, I've got a bitter toonie. Marvin, it's your fault that I have to buy that damn Glenmorangie for every district event, so thanks a lot for that.
Well, back in '91, was when I joined Rotary, and the fellow that had to vet me was Marvin Monroe. And I remember he was so thorough, he asked all sorts of questions and gave me all sorts of advice. And I guess that was to make sure I stayed. So Marvin, here I am.
Just congratulations and to Sharon and both your daughters to join me too.
Marvin, I got to put in a couple bucks for you because I've known you quite a while, and also your good wife Sharon, and your wonderful dog. I looked after him too. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ.
Just a couple of bucks to say congratulations, Marvin, and thanks for continuing to be an example of how to be a Rotarian.
Kathy?
Marvin, congratulations on 50 years in Rotary and for showing us all the way. We really do appreciate you.
Table stakes, but a little extra for Marvin. Thank you so much. I need to bring you back to a memory lane when I joined Rotary Club. I'm just a toddler in this club. It's my 6 years. But Marvin and Peter Barron happens to go on a Scotch tasting with me at the Sandman Signature here. And I won a big prize, and Peter Barron kind of nudged me, "Hey kid, you're driving us tonight." So I didn't get to taste the Scotch, but I've got some Scotch bottle in my car. So I took Marvin and Peter Barron at their houses that night, and I'm not scared of him anymore. I used to be scared of him because I feel he was very strict when I first joined this club, but truly I learned a lot from him. Thank you.
I've known Marv since pretty much the first day I came to Kamloops. My business partner Kevin McIntyre and Marv are good friends, and Kevin thought it would be the best way to introduce me to Kamloops was to get me in a Rotary Club. And Marvin, he came and picked me up and drove me to my first meeting. It was a nice fancy Lincoln, and he made me feel very welcome, and been here ever since. And Leslie and I, whenever we went to an event, whether it was Rotary or not Rotary, and if we saw Marvin and Sharon there, we knew we were gonna be okay. Just, plain old.
Last but not least.
Quick couple of things. One is that you always know where you stand with Marvin. And that's important because I think there's people who sometimes don't like what you're doing, they don't tell you. Marvin will tell you. And I think that's really, and he's always here. I mean, there's people who've come in and out of this club many times, but Marvin's always been here for us. And I just value that so much with Marvin and Russ and Jake, people and Stella. I just wanted to be when Marvin did it with Stella. I would love to have been there because I would love to see that conversation go down. It would have been amazing. So I really just want to say thanks everybody for coming today. I also want to say just quickly before I want to also welcome Tracy. Tracy's going to be district governor coming up pretty soon. Tracy's in the West Club, and so she'll be our district governor elect in it was weird nominee elect. 27 days elect, and 1 year and 27 days district governor. So Tracy's in the West Club, and hopefully see her a lot coming down to our club and visiting us and stuff. So Tracy, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it. Thanks Sherry from Aurora for being here as well from the Tuesday morning club, and really appreciate all the Rotarians coming down and celebrating with us today as well. That's it for me. Thanks.
Just want to say thank you, everyone.
Oh, Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah. I just wanted to say congratulations. Thank you so much for your dedication and good work. And 50 years is a long time. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well,
I've already had a chance to say one piece, but thank you very much, Marvin.
Okay, Doreen Munson, you're up. We're going to stand up and toast her, charge her glasses, and we're going to have a toast to Rotary. Rotary. Thanks, everybody.